Did you know that in ancient Rome, criminals could be put to death by being sewn up in a leather sack along with a venomous snake? Welcome to my channel. And today, let's find out what the most gruesome reality of ancient Rome was. Ancient Rome was a time of great emperors, epic battles, and shocking punishments. While we often focus on the glory of ancient Rome, it's important to remember that it was also a violent and brutal place. From crucifixion to animal attacks, the punishments were as harsh as they were creative. This form of capital punishment was used throughout the Roman Empire, and it was a horrific sight to behold. The condemned would be stripped naked and nailed to a cross, often left to die slowly from exposure or from the wounds inflicted by wild animals. Let's take a closer look at some of the most gruesome punishments of the time. First, crucifixion. Crucifixion was meant to be a deterrent to other would-be criminals, but it was also a way to humiliate and degrade the condemned. This form of execution was a favorite form of entertainment for the Roman crowds. The victim was first stripped naked and then sewn up in a leather sack along with a venomous snake, rats, or other poisonous creatures. Many galley slaves died from exhaustion, starvation, making it one of the most horrific punishments in ancient Rome. And the spectacle was considered to be a display of the emperor's power and the might of the Roman state. Animal attacks. In ancient Rome, criminals could be sentenced to death by having them thrown into the arena to be torn apart by wild animals. However, they also serve as a reminder of the importance of human rights and the need for justice and fairness in our society. Another form of capital punishment in ancient Rome was the cross-colored death, which involved being sewn up in a cloth along with various objects such as rocks or metal. Third, the death by leather sack. This punishment was reserved for the most heinous crimes, and it was a slow and agonizing death. The sack would then be thrown into the Tiber River, where it would eventually be found and opened, releasing the deadly contents and ensuring the victim's death. Fourth, the cross-colored death. This form of punishment was particularly cruel as it was meant to dehumanize the condemned and reduce them to a spectacle for the amusement of the public. The cloth was then nailed to a cross and left in the public square as a warning to other would-be criminals. Finally, the grueling galley slave labor. In ancient Rome, criminals could be sentenced to life as a galley slave, which was a fate worse than death for many. The slaves were forced to row the warships and transport ships, often under the most grueling conditions and with the threat of violence and death always looming over them. While these punishments may seem shocking and brutal to us today, they were commonplace in ancient Rome. These punishments were not only a means of dealing with crime, but also a way to maintain control and order in the empire. So what do you think about the gruesome reality of ancient Rome? Do you find it fascinating or horrifying? Let me know in the comments section below.